The red button says I'm live. How are you doing? Bet you didn't expect to see me over on this channel, did you? Well, gotcha. So, Jeff, give me 1 second. I'm going to have a little echo here. I know it's coming. So, actually, it may not. Wow, I actually driver at the well. Wow, there's 7 people here. Well, hello, everybody. Scratch, Peggy, Shannon, Simply, Michelle, Joe, Wendy, Dalton Gaming. Joe, how are y'all? Man, you're looking good. Of course you are. I may not be able to see you physically, but I know it is the reality that I say. You look good tonight. Man, in fact, I am envious. Y'all be looking really good. You know, it's that classic line in the movie Wall Street where Bud Fox is walking in and, he's clothed, he landed the whale, gecko. And he walks in and the secretary said, the receptionist says, how are you, Bud? And he said, if I was any better, I'd be guilty. So that's how good y'all look. So anyway, good to see everyone. 44 people in here. Good gracious. Alan, good to see you. Earthly Angel, Mother of Dragons, Brenda, Sarah K, the Truth Seeker. How are y'all doing? Just want to say hello to you. So Jeff had unexpected company. So I said, okay, well, people were over there, they'll come over here. So all is good. So I just want to say, how's everyone doing? I'm not normally over here on this channel. I'm over there on Jeff's. So I just wanted to say hello to everyone. As many of you may or may not know, I don't know, I put a video out that was a gift to all of you who are entrepreneurs, business owners, and, have your own website, even have a brick and mortar. Um, our community is growing here. Everyone in this chat room, everyone in this community, y'all are the ones who made this happen. It wasn't me. I'm just the guy that, you know, some people like to hear. And others, well, I read the comments. So I want to do something that shows that we are a community. Hello, Trisha G. How are you? Claudette, how are you doing? Wendy, good to see you. So part of what I am giving to everyone here, and it's a platform, it's growing. Um, you know, um, it's getting out now, out to Facebook, and there's some alternative outlets as well that going to be in at. So I want to give you all the best thing that I can give you is to promote prosperity into your life. So having said that, I put out the offer today that if you have a company, a website, a product, send me it. And I will promote this every week. And so to start this off, sowing the seed, that's what it's all about. No matter what your view is, one of the things I have found so true in nature, excuse me, is that there is seed time and there is harvest time. And I don't know what the deal is with weeds, but they got it down pat. I don't know about you, but when I plant my gardens in the spring, I swear I take all the precautions, right? Larry, lay down all the weed barrier, the whole bit. Screw that. I mean, I don't know. So I finally came to this conclusion. Instead of the plants that, we're nurturing, fertilizing, pulling the weeds around to get the bounty of the fruit, we need to learn how the weed is doing it, because the weed says, screw this. I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. So this is Bob. Bob is the founder and the He says founder, I don't know, CEO. This is his website. He is in Australia, base business. They are much like an eBay. Um, I think it's great. I think that, you don't have to be the eBays to be successful. The great thing that we have is each of us have likes that we find others like as well. Oh, that's called a community. So check out his website. Here it is right here, market dash twister. Excuse me. The air is dry here today. Um, .com. And listen, going to put him up on the, everyone that does this, we're going to start keeping a list, and we'll start make it to where this is not going to be just one time. I'll do this over and over again. And if I can bring customers to you, then we're doing good. So thank you, Bob. You were the first one who responded, and I told you you would be the first one that I would put up here. I love entrepreneurship, and those who strike out to make their own path. I am your champion. Now, this is an entrepreneur. Her name is Victoria. Bob, by the way, is a subscriber, as is Victoria. And Victoria's mom actually was the one who encouraged Victoria to get in contact with me. So, Victoria says that she's very passionate about all natural products. My mother was sick for many years because of her health. And she did this to uh, basically to make a better life for her and her mom. So I happen to be a big believer in essential oils. Um, Unfortunately, we do not get enough of this any longer from our environment. So, Victoria, way to go, girl. You can see here, this is her website. And if any of you are looking for products, check it out and support her. So let me get out of here. He says, how do I do this? All right. So give me 1 second. Here I am. I got lost. Sue, I got your email as well. And what a very kind and gracious offer. Let's talk tomorrow. I'll be on tomorrow night with Steve again with our slightly slanted salute, Hunter for Truth. I love it. We will start promoting this here. So there you go, folks. That's how it works. Hey, listen, we all have to buy stuff. And what the heck? I think if you can get in a group that that have a like-minded and have a product or a service to sell, why not? And again, even if you have a brick and mortar, some very sweet person said, well, I'm this place over here, I don't think there would be anyone. And I said, are you kidding? Tell me what your business is. You never know. People could be taking a vacation. Who knows how, whatever. So 99 people. See how numbers work? Trish G, I'm telling you, there's something to this number stuff. Heidi as well. And I could just go on and on that numbers are important. So anyway, I have got word this afternoon from an individual who is out this month, but we will be getting back together to set a firm date. And folks, this person will blow your socks off as to who it is. I can't say who it is right now because until we get everything firm, but we have talked, we have shared information, and the person says, yes, I'm willing to do this. Let's do it. So anyway, There you go. This is going to be exciting, folks. When you find out who it is, you're going to be like me. You know, you get happy feet. You go, wow, and what an individual. So I thought since I had to come up here with um, the topic for tonight, right? Let me, and I don't know. By the way, did I share that screen properly? Did everyone happen to see that? I guess this is what I'm asking. Ba-ba-ba. Did everyone see the screens? Because I'm actually looking at two different ones. Do. Oh, well, thank you, Robert. Hi, Violet. Robin, hello. G. Mason. Joanna, good to see everyone. Okay, so I think I know what I did. Let me go back. Okay, now I see what I did. All right, so here is Bob's website, market-twister.com. I'm sorry, I was looking at it and you all weren't. Y'all were talking. What was I doing? Oh, just a little FYI to everyone in tonight. This flu is nothing to be screwing with, folks. Now, I'm not an advocate for immunization. So if you don't take their recipe, then you need to be in good health. You need to be a strong immune system and figure out whatever works best for you. But I'm telling you, I have talked to people from the East Coast to the West Coast, from the North all the way down to the Southeast today. It's everywhere, and it is kicking people's butts. So, heads up, folks. My wife is a nurse, as you know. We're actually getting the antimicrobial mouth filters because um, it's just that situation now. If you're out in public, you might want to think about getting this. Remember, influenza is an airborne contagion, and what makes it so contagious is that the virus also lives for extenuating periods of time on surfaces. So we all have to go to grocery stores. Grocery stores, unfortunately, are one of the biggest places to spread contamination. Germs. Germs, I'm telling you. Germs everywhere. But no, no kidding. All right. So this is Bob's website. Again, check it out. I did. Got some cool stuff on here. Bob, I'm giving you another plug because I feel bad that I didn't get it the first time. Okay. I know you can see this. And this is Victoria's website, Soul Essentials by V. I love that. Let's see if we can maybe double those sales. That's what I say. You know, listen, if we can put a few pounds, few dollars in people's pocket, why not, right? All right. So I wanted to get to kind of a review of some of the stories I've done in the last couple of months and to show you I am psychic. No, I don't. I'm intuitive. But how I've been showing you in programs, transhumanism, um, bloodline invaders, AI. In fact, I was talking to a guest that I'll have on next Monday night, Brian, who is a fabulous guy. He's getting over the flu, by the way. That AI, you're going to be really surprised. And so, Brian, I said I'd give you credit for being there when this epiphany hit me. I'm going to do a whole show on this. So I know I'm digressing. That's all right. It's impromptu. It's live. So think about this. If we go by the evidence, and there is evidence, archaeological evidence of in the region that it's rumored to be that there was a structure that is called in many of the myths and many of the books called uh, the Tower of Babel. While I was talking with Brian, it hit me. We've done it again. You see, it was said that if we ever came together, there would be nothing impossible for us to do, to create. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the thought that AI is our Tower of Babel. Now, it's interesting how the internet is a place of great deception, great wisdom, great wealth. Sounds like Babel to me, but anyway, think about this. So AI, the internet, is, or how shall I put it this way? It is the completion of what we started how many eons back? That's what I postulate. I can't see in the chat room, but anyway, think about that. I'm going to do a program on that. So here it is. Woman receives bionic hand with sense of touch. Now, what makes this story remarkable is this, folks. We have now, and how I want to put this, all computers are machine code, all right? So now we have taught the machines how to interface with the neural network we call the spinal cord, nerves, to now give the sensation of touch through an artificial device. That's what this story is about. And how it works, you can see that the prosthetic hand has sensors that detect information about whether an object is soft or hard. These messages are linked to a computer in a rucksack that converts these signals into a language the brain will understand. What I'm trying to say here, it's telling us we don't need to guess when AI becomes self-aware. It already is. The machines now have the ability to communicate above us, but to communicate down to our level that our brains will understand and then actually be able to operate an artificial prosthesis. It's amazing. Anyway, there you go. Now, here's one. Actually, someone had sent this story to me as well. Are AI aliens watching Earth? An immortal machine civilization could already exist and may be billions of years old, leading experts claims. Got to read this story, folks. So, Dr. Snyder of the University of Connecticut believes other civilizations could rely on forms of alien superintelligence that we haven't yet created on Earth. She claims these life forms could be post-biological and not driven by the propagation of genes like creatures on Earth, but powered by technology, meaning they could be immortal too. What if all the gods, the Christian God, the Jewish God, the Islamic God, the Hindu God, all the gods were nothing more than machines? If it was a superior intelligence above our capacity to apprehend, much less comprehend, it's been said as well, if you were truly of advanced nature, had the intelligence, had ascended to that level, there would be no reason for you to ever travel beyond your pod, because you would have basically, and the theory has gone out there, you would have a machine be the eyes, the ears, the sensations, the reporting mechanism. I don't know. They say that the truly advanced races will never find. They've developed cloaking technology. They don't want their planets to be discovered. I mean, my God, could you think about it? What if us humans today had the ability to actually travel interstellar, right? And we show up at somebody's doorstep on an alien world. God help them. I mean, come on, folks. No matter how much we like to think that we are evolving, and we are, I'm right there with you. But you know what? We still got that other side. And, so most intelligences, civilizations, would never allow their planet to be seen by Earth. But I certainly do believe this. I don't know if it could be even possible. But yeah. All right, let's get out of that. All right. Here's one. You see, we all are intuitives. It's just that they've dampened the field around us with this electromagnetic soup that it's prevented us from, you know, focusing more on our psychic abilities than our central abilities. But anyway, so humans can spot small signs of sickness at a glance. Well, at first I thought about this story and I thought, I had the reaction, really? You're writing a story on this? Listen, I may not be no rocket scientist, but if I see someone whose nose is running like Niagara Falls and who is, how shall we say, coughing like a 747 jet engine exhaust, I got enough sense to know I don't want to be around that person. I can spot that a long ways. But really, what it was really saying is that, and you go back into our ancestry, the way our ancestors had to deal with sickness. Think about it. I think that there was a time where we could learn how to heal us because we could spot it. You know. But anyway, I thought that one was interesting. All right. All right. Here is a story again of hope. I love this story. So we basically, not we, not you and I, the industrial complex, let's say, I don't know, let's call him Watson. Money rules the world, so Watson rules the money. But in any case, here it is. Because of all the processed food, over the last 3 decades, we now have an epidemic in all the industrialized nations of diabetes. Diabetes is absolutely epidemic in levels. So they get us sick, and then they want to get the drugs not to cure us so much, just enough to keep us well, so we keep buying the drugs. But here's the deal. Once in a while, karma, as they used to say, is a bitch. But trust me, they'll screw us on this too. Alzheimer's, nothing to laugh about. Serious. In the UK, dementia and Alzheimer's is now the number one epidemic disease facing the UK. And if you can see what they're facing over there, something like this is a great story. And it appears that with one dose, the ability for the patients that were taking this was amazing. And they do this by video games, by the way. In the video game, it's kind of like, you're going from point A to point B, and they put obstacles in you, and then you replay that several times to see how your cognitive memory is working. And the thing with Alzheimer's and dementia, it's not the long-term memories that are a problem. It's the short-term memories. And eventually, it's the problem with Parkinson's. I don't know if many of you know this, but that's why Robin Williams took his own life. He had the gene on the Parkinson's that he knew it's the worst kind. I mean, not only is your body deteriorating, right? The mind can't control that anymore, but the Parkinson's that Robin Williams is diagnosed, you end up going crazy because of the hallucinations. It's terrible, terrible. All right, kind of changing course here. Wall Street Journal. Met Peter? This is a smart dude. A lot of people follow Elon Musk. Elon Musk is cool. But I'm telling you, this is the cat I'd watch. So everyone talks about Bitcoin. Let me just tell you now, if you have a 401k, they're going to be getting into it. Right now, it's set to, I read today, we're talking over $1 million. One Bitcoin. Now, Peter, founder of PayPal, LinkedIn, his firm, under the radar, made a bet, bought about, I think, 10 million, 10, 20 million Bitcoin. They sent a letter out to their stakeholders. It's now worth $200 million, I believe. So, yeah. Here's another thing. Now, I follow the financial markets. This is what I do. So part of my contribution to you, and it affects us no matter where you are, we're all on the food chain somewhere. This is what the algorithms keep putting out. I want to let you know what the real story behind this is. So everyone looks at the commodity market, treasury notes. We're trying to see what the yield is. The higher the yield, the worse the economy. The lower the yield, the better the economy. All the indicators, all the programs, all the algorithms, all the things that the central banks and Wall Street and the brokerages, all of them, all the billions that they have spent in building these complex algorithms are saying something's coming. Now, Heidi on the New Year's Eve show, along with Trish G, We're very plain. Something is coming, folks. I believe Heidi, I don't know if she's in here tonight, but I believe Trish wasn't it March, I think. So anyway, yeah, check that out. Um, so remember I did the video that, boy, did I catch hell from the flat earthers. Woo! Mercy. Had to grab my butt because, they were certainly chewing on it. Anyway, as I said, the earth is slowing, has been slowing. Now, they're milliseconds, but those milliseconds are starting to now add up. And when you start getting out of, the thousandths to the hundredths to the tenths, we're getting into serious problems. And when you think about the mass as large as the earth, as I did the video, go back and take a look at it. But here is a story month or two after I've already did the story. Again, expect 2018 to be a hell of a year. So I think that is about it. Let me just make sure. Oh, yeah. Let me stop and say this. The following is a commentary expressed by the guy driving the bus. This was the number one seller this year. Number one seller. I thought to myself when they got the numbers in, we got a lot of work to do. I mean, there's a lot of unaware people, a lot of asleep people. What they don't realize, they think that this is a convenience. They think it's cool that you can simply speak your voice and a machine is going to go out on the internet for you. It's going to do your grocery list. It's going to do your self-diagnosis of your washing machine, your dishwasher. It's going to be able to be your security system. It's going to begin to know everything about you, everyone in your house. It records everything. You can't turn them off. Oh, yeah, I guess you could unplug it and throw the thing out, but that ain't going to happen. And what's really happened here, it's so freaking subtle. And if you got one, well, I don't know how to tell you. Well, actually, listen, in one way, we all it. If you've got a smartphone, I have, what is that? The Apple 7, whatever the thing is. I mean, how many times has Siri come on? And even when I've turned it off, you can go in there and actually turn it off. It still comes on. So it's already been learning from us, but now it's really going to learn from us. And again, think about this as a tributary. When you put one of these devices in, whether it's Google, Amazon, whoever, your tributary is now leading from house to house. It's feeding in. And by the time it reaches the central control, remember Tron, the CPU, master control, it's learning. It's a frightening thing when you think about it, how much the machines are learning about us. No place will be sacred anymore. No place will be private anymore. I'm going to do a program. I got about a list. I know it's about like 19 that I have in pre-production. But if you carry this equation out to where it is now, it begins to take on a real interesting dark side. They say, I get security easings, and In one of the e-zines that came out recently was talking, do you know, folks, and let me get out of here. Okay, I'm back. Let me get out of here. All right, I'm back. Wow. Hello, everyone. How you doing? So now think about this. The number one security problem, and it's already here, folks. The real smart people, the crazy people that deal with, the new coding. Get this, is stealing you. There's apps coming already here, but going to be integrated in the next version of all the smartphones. They'll be coming out next year. The disaster that Apple faced with the Apple 10, trust me, it was a mistake. It was they shot their basket before the ball was ready to go through it. But anyway, um, the new smartphones coming out will be DNA enabled. Now, it starts out with the biorhythms first. Already Apple, Windows, Google, Samsung, Motorola, already now are going to go with iris recognition. That's old technology. The thing that they're looking for is that, believe it or not, we shed skin all the time. And you don't need much. And that can get a DNA. What could be more secure than you controlling your own device with your own DNA? Sounds fabulous. Problem is, it can be hacked. Now think about this. I mean, right now you got what, LifeLock, who will, in the event of stealing your identity. Well, your identity is numbers in this case. What if they hacked into your DNA? What if, just saying, what if you had a terrorist organization of these computer wackos? They start stealing databases of people's DNA. Now, follow me on this. Viruses are amazing things, how they can work, seen or unseen, ether or biological. Imagine someone holding your DNA hostage. And what do I mean by hostage? Well, I'm going to release a bioweapon that anyone that has this particular sequence, you see where this can go? And this is what's already happening. And the problem that I see is twofold. One, we're teaching the machines all the time now. They can now think faster than us. They can now process faster than us. And quite frankly, our whole infrastructure, our whole societies are based upon computers now. No matter what the hardware is. Remember back in the day, and I'm dating myself, yeah, I know, when we used to have the thing, it was the big thing in IT, was a thin client application. That was the big deal. Thin client. But so here we are now, 2018. The largest single item bought were these machine listening devices. And the thing about it is, think about this, folks. You're giving all of this information free of charge. Hell, you're paying for it. to Amazon, to Google. Facebook will come out with one, so inevitably. And they're well on their way to become trillion-dollar companies. And if it doesn't get bad enough, go to the Silicon Valley News. I subscribe to it, get it every day. So, have you heard what's happening with all the tech giant companies? It seems the depravity has reached such high low that rampant sex orgies in the middle of the day going on at these companies. Yet we got senators, actors getting their butts railed out of town because of an accusation, but yet somehow another, oh, I guess if you basically run most of the economy, I guess you have a free ticket. But yeah, I mean, this is just crazy, folks. And listen, if that kind of lunacy is going on there, those people are the ones who are putting their DNA into the next version of technology. And if energy can be transferred, I mean, digital DNA, I mean, that's what software is. The fact that I can talk and I can see all of you writing is evidence enough that we know it's software. It's all software. Someone wrote me today, and it was very, if any of you had city bank accounts, you need to check your bank accounts. They had a glitch, quote unquote, of they were emptying out bank accounts, taking money out of accounts. The question is often wondered, so where did it go? I can get that the software, the machine, can take my money out without me knowing it, but where does it go? That's the problem when it all becomes digital. I'm taking my digital money. These are my Bitcoins. Oh, I'm telling you, it's whacked out, folks. Now, I did a video about a year ago. Y'all remember the Bloodline Invaders series I did? Well, let me show you something. So I did a video, and here it is. I'm not going to go through this whole thing, but it amazes me to see where we are now. When I did these, I'll just be candid with you. Was so much information hitting me in a download. I go back and I listen to some of these and I go, who is that guy? So for the longest time, now the thing about it, folks, I've done over 550 videos. Go back and watch some of them. Now, some of them were pretty raw, but you know, I got onto this hamster wheel. I sometimes stumble, but I have contended that we are code carriers. And I'm not going to go through this whole thing because it's long. What this video was all about is the amazing thing that you and I possess. You and I possess, I believe, all the knowledge of the universe connected to our biological forms. And the reason why we know this is that because within the Human Genome Project, we've unlocked the human genome, the gene. We began to realize how wonderful, how complex biological creatures we are, and how the strands of DNA, how they link up, how there seems to be this unseen code. I mean, when you think about it, the moment that the sperm cracks the veil, the barrier code, something marvelous begins to happen. And how you can have two parts that come together and then end up forming what we are and what we now know. Every cell contains millions of library of Congress. The more they see, the more that they just said they don't know if it will ever be able to be mapped out. It's so complex, so deep, and the more and more that we find about us, it's amazing. You know, I think that they have been trying to alter our DNA. I think something really is out there purposely altering our DNA. And with the Human Genome Project now complete and the Human Genome 2 well underway, I believe that there exists right now the foundation for every cure for every disease. I believe that we contain within ourselves the ability to become immortal. But someone has tried to turn the tables on us. We know this. We know absolutely that you and I are star people. We're made of the stars. I contend that we may not have been here. I believe that how the myths and the stories have now become theology for many. I don't think that we're natural to this planet. I think we've evolved by adapting to our environment. But the more and more that I look at this, the more and more I'm convinced that way back then, way back, I'm talking millions of years, folks. I believe that's how far back it goes. And I believe as well as I continue to learn, continue to find out more information, that I don't think we got the full story. You see, I think that the created beings, the creating beings, believe they're a race. We call them God, but I believe they're a race. See, I think that there was a battle. Two things, either there was a battle or they moved on. And part of the process is that they downloaded into us their entire knowledge. For a time when we would be able to, number one, understand that there is a code and move on to begin to break it. So this goes on and on. I'm not going to bore you with it anymore. Give me 1 second here. So there we go. Any case, check it out. Excuse me, check it out. Seriously, check it out. Check out the video. It's a fascinating thing. And by all the evidence, like Debbie's story last night with the abductees. By the way, I have a couple of other individuals who have written me, and one wants to come on and share his story, and we're going to do that. Y'all were so kind. Everybody was to Debbie, and she wanted me to say thank you. She's actually going to organize her thoughts more because this was her first time. And bless her heart, she's going to get it. Um, Someone asked me, did I finish my Mandela? I did. So I'll show you. Let me get it in here. There it is. Let's see. Oh, there you are. All right, folks. So it is done. Now I'm on to the next one. Very therapeutic. You're relaxing. You're feeling, you see. But yeah, I finished it. So there you go. Oh, let's see. So what's going on in the chat room? How's everyone doing? Davey, how's everyone in the chat room tonight? Um, DARPA and NASA teamed up. You know, that's like the plague and the famine. A lot of good's going to come out of that. Let's see. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so you know, I like to color. Listen, I believe I am going to be a guest with Jennifer next, I think here coming up real quick. Before we let you go, because you know, I don't want to get you too bored. Claudette, I owe you a call. So I'm definitely going to give you a call. Wanted just to let you know that. And Violet Flame, I told you, if you want to come on, I'd love to have you on. And we're going to have some other great people on here. Tell you folks, when this person wrote me back today and agreed to come on, literally, you know, I was doing my Wally dance. I'll have to show that to you. So, you know, but if you're going to do the Wally dance, that means you really are excited. That's kind of the joy thing, you know? So, yeah, it's better than mind coitus. I'll just tell you that right now. Someone says I'm not boring. Well, that's all right. Someone said something about they wanted to see what my shirts are. So tonight we have reality in the true form. So there you go. You know, who says that, you know, you can't have fun clothes? I heard someone say one time that says, well, you know, you dress the most coolest of any old guy I saw. And I went, people are calling me old. Okay, well, that's that's mind coitus to me because I'm still getting used to that. But anyway, but you can, you know, dress the way you feel. That's what I say. You know, it always works best that way. It's fluid. That's right, Jenny. Oh, you got it. It is. It is fluid. Works well. I'm sorry, that's just funny. Um, melting the cube matrix. Way to go, Jennifer. I like that. So I got the celestial tea tonight. It is Bingle Spice. Shameless plug. Doesn't matter. If you really want to check it out, good tea. So it looks 70s. Yeah, I mean, the 70s were the best time. They sucked politically. God almighty, I can remember Nixon. You know, that idiot, by the way, my glasses just seem to, there we go. Got the headphones got stuck on them. Because of Nixon was the first time I experienced tear gas. And, but I was out there protesting the war because my sorry butt was up in the lottery for the draft the next year. So I didn't go. I had a lot of good friends that did. Let's see. And also, someone said they wanted to see a picture of me with long hair. You know, I may have one. I don't know if people really want to see that, but let me just check it out here real quick. Y'all go ahead and pass the coffee pot around. If you got tea, you know, all sorts of good tea. They're out there. Let's see. So what I'm doing what you're not seeing is I'm actually going into my files, and I'm hearing Creedence Clearwater Revival, Run Through the Jungle. You gotta run through the jungle. Bum, 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 bum. All right. Let's see. So how's it going? How's the weather out there? If you're living on the East Coast here in the United States, you're going to get your butt spanked, I think, with a real good snowstorm. Um, so I hear. So I'm trying to read. Let's see. Let's see. Do, 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 do. Okay. Well, this isn't turning out that well. This is rather boring. You didn't sign up for this. All right. I'll have to get that later. So anyway, folks, have a good evening. Tomorrow night, join me with Steve. The rest of you, seriously, if you have a business, a website, your YouTube channel, send it to me. Listen, if we can increase your sales by one extra sale, you've already beat your numbers from last year, right? And yeah, I hear in Pittsburgh. Yeah, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Yep. Cold in Toronto, Canada. I bet it is. I am too. I hear it's real cold. A balmy 12 degrees in Tennessee. Milky Way Weekly. Well, that's Brian, by the way. Brian will be on the show next Monday night. We're going to discuss some very, very far out topics. Yeah, I know. It's lingo that was from back then, but hey, I remember. Listen, I do remember. The best thing that I can say about those years, and ladies, this is not sexist in any way. I loved tube tops. Them in hip hugger jeans. Holy cow. What a time to grow up. And platform shoes. Yeah. Yeah, you had to have that. So, well, there's so many of you in here already. It's just, let's see. I'm going to start a thing to help people against scams. Send me $50. Yeah, that sounds like a good deal there, Scratch. Yeah, the check is in the mail. That's what I'm going to say. Y'all are just great. I appreciate every one of you. You're just y'all are just fun to hang around with. I just got to tell you, it's a kick. It really is. And death to polyester. It's so true. But anyway, it was a good time to grow up. It really was. And particularly when I mean, can you imagine 15 years old? When I was 15, I have listeners in Houston, Texas that are about my age. And so I was at the state of Texas Child Welfare Department put me in a halfway house run by United Way. And those of you who live in Houston, it was right on the corner of Commonwealth and Indiana in the Montrose area. And what it was a halfway house to basically reunite runaways back with their parents. Somehow or another, this caseworker I had, Mr. Romo, still remember him, got me into this place, right? So I had just gotten off a plane from California. My grandparents couldn't handle me. Hey, it's just a fact. I was a mixed up kid. So I'm on this midnight flight. I land, meet this caseworker, don't know who it is, and he's telling me, well, you're not going to go back into a foster home. You're not going to go back into the county home that you were in. We're going to be putting you in a place that we're going to try out for the first time. I'm 15 years old. I care less, you know. I just didn't know where this was. My whole life to that point, there was nothing certain. Love wasn't certain. Didn't know what that was about. But so anyway, we pull up to this place. It's a beautiful 3-story old Victorian house. And I walk in and it's 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. The worker and the staff were all psych majors going to the University of Houston or to Rice University. And I still remember the gal. I have eidetic memory, and her name was Gay, Gaye. And uh, my caseworker gave her all my paperwork, and she said okay, and he left. Said, well, I'll get back with you in a couple of days. And so I'm looking at her, she's looking at me, and she said, well, the boys sleep there, the girls sleep upstairs. On the 3rd floor is the music room. There's people up there now if you want. She says there's 3 rules of the house: no drugs, no sex, and no drugs, no sex, no smoking, I think was the other one on the premise. Now you could go across the street and do all 3, but that was the rules. So I went up there. I had a carton of cigarettes. Yeah, I smoked back then. And I go up there and I walk in, and they got this room, and there's black lights everywhere and black light posters. The big one I remember was Jimi Hendrix Experience. And Black Sabbath, Iron Man is playing on the turntable. Well, I had a carton of cigarettes, so I got popular real quick. And before I knew it, that was the last time that within 2 months, the state emancipated me and I was out the door, and the rest of it is history. So there you go. Little digression. So anyway, it was a great time, I have to say. And for 15 years old, you have no supervision. What were those people thinking? I don't know. All right, folks. I appreciate all of you. Just give my blessing out to you. You're the best. Thank you for all the viewership, and see you tomorrow night, if not sooner. Take care of yourselves. Be kind to one another. All right. And we will talk real soon. All right, folks. Good night.